NESGameMaker. So last time we put together our save creation room. So over here we have our save create, or not save create, save select. Yes, and we're able to create save files and have them available, but we still have to actually be able to create them. Because the player wants to be able to choose their name, choose their information, and then have it display properly. So we're going to do that today, so let's get cracking. Pull over my reference code so you can see what we're getting up to here. And we have down here our save letter selection, so they can type in their name, and of course where we register our names. So that'll be fairly easy. Come over here to our instance layer in the save create room. Make sure you're in that room. Give you 8 and 8 because that makes it easier. And of course, create the background area. Background. Yeah. That's. And also give you an 8x8 grid. On the background assets, we're going to drag in from our sprites the title and main menu sprites, save create, drop it off there at 0/8 so it fits into the room properly. You can see. And let's see, we don't need to do anything in the background, so we're just ready to go here. We need to make an object, and let's call it menu objects. Click use, we can create object, but we're going to save underscore create underscore cursor. Yes, that is spelled correct. Come over here to you and give you a sprite. There we go. Come back to the room, not save select, save create, and put you right there next to link. Only because you're slightly offset, we're going to have to do this a little bit more manually. There we go. Let's make sure that's in the right position. You should be at 80/60. You are at 80/60. Good. So now that we have this out of the way, we can actually get to doing some coding. Let's close the room just to be sure. And let's add a create event to our item. Let me pull over the reference code over here. Save create cursor, a step event, and a draw event. All right, draw event is going to be pretty similar to our previous draw event, except we're going to do a little bit extra here because we are going to, so first off, we have the draw sprite, sprite index, image index, XY, X24. Then we have all this additional code right here for drawing our save text file and stuff. So we'll actually get to that in a second. I just want to put this in here first since I'm thinking about it. We are going to want to create a save file and some other stuff here. I got a bunch of code I need to pull out. Okay, so let's start with this. Name stuff. Save underscore name underscore is equal to, give a couple of those, array underscore create 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or, is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. So for the save name, we are going to use array create to make a array of size 3, or with 3 positions, each initialized with 8 spaces. And that's going to be very important. And character underscore slot underscore index underscore is equal to 1. and character underscore index underscore is equal to 0. So what is character slot index and what is character index? So character index is, actually, let's open up that room again. Save create. Character index is 0, 1, or, yeah, 0, 1, and 2, and 3, because we have to also have end. And character slot index starts at 1 because strings are 1 indexed as opposed to most everything else, which is 0 indexed. So we start at 1 for A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, etc., etc., etc. And yes, these blank spaces are also counted as a space. So it's like 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, etc. All right, so pound region, save, load. Oh yeah, in region. We're just going to copy this from the other save. Why are we doing this? Because we just want to load up any save files that currently exist. So let's go down to our save select, create event, save load. So yeah, basically what we want to do is pull open all the currently existing file names and dump the name into here if they already exist. Let me make sure that's all right. Oh, yeah, it says I do have a slight variation from here between there and there as well. Because I remember, like I said, we need to load the save file information and get the name because that's all we really care about here. So what we're going to do is edit the code slightly to not only just open the save name, then we move from this save one information over to the save name array that we created, any already created file names. And we'll do the same thing for here and for here. 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, and 2. And 2 and 3. Awesome. That should be good. Yes, it is. And last but not least, oh wait, yeah. I made a mistake there. Index, character slot index is 1. It's referring to this position there in the save name array. Character index is referring to these guys in this array. So you're starting at 0, actually. But same principles still apply. And put menu navigation there to help us remember what that's for. Remember menu wrap. We're going to copy it and bring it over to here because we want to be able to wrap our menu. But we have some slight alterations to make to it because the menu isn't exactly the same in menu cursor as it is in save select cursor. So we want to change it from index equals wrap plus plus index 0, 4. Well, we only have 3 now because we have only 3 menu options. Then we say if a file exists, we want to check to make sure they exist. And if they are not there, we want to move forward, but we don't need this portion here because we can wrap around fairly easy. We can wrap around without clamping in this variation of the menu wrap method. All right. So that is most of the familiar stuff done. Now we need to bring in some additional information that you don't know about. So first off, we want to make a constructor here because we need to create a default save file. So let's go here and pop it open. Some more stuff. So we have the default save file. Or I should say the default save file constructor, and it's slightly different from a just a straight up struct because we're going to be using a constructor here. It makes it more like an object in that you can do stuff like well, if you create a so if you go and do something like save file is equal to new default underscore save underscore file. Then you could do stuff like save underscore file dot this, and you can set it equal to 5 if you want them to have 5 dis. So you can do if save underscore file dot this is equal to 5, then do something. Yeah. It makes it very nice and easy to work with. It's basically creating a free floating object that just exists in code nebulously somewhere, as long as there's a reference to it. And in our case, because we have down over here in save select, we remember we are going to be filling up these various save files types. We're going to set our global.current save data to save1, which will be all this information here. So that should let us keep it floating around whenever we need to use it. So we have function, default save file constructor, and we have here, let me zoom in the code actually. I always forget about this, don't I? I wish I would remember. There, now you can see it all if you need to. Let's see, we have save file name, player defined file name, so they can save their name as George of the Jungle if they want to. Save file name is just whatever the save file name is in the system, so like that, I believe. Then death 0, health level, magic level, attack level continues, health containers, magic containers, maximum HP, and maximum MP. So we want to define that as 32 plus 8 times health containers. So in this case, we have health containers, magic containers, and in Legend of Zelda 2, there's 4 of each, and each one of them give you an extra 8. Though actually, I believe in the game it's 16 because I made everything 264, while in the game I believe everything is 128. Because I was thinking, oh well, they're not showing the 1 ticks when I was creating all this, but apparently everything is ticked by 2 in the in-game. So yeah, they if in the in-game when you lose 2 health, you'll lose 1 pip from your health bar. But in this case, I made it so that it's 1-to-1. So if you lose 1 health, you lose 1 pip from your health bar. But you can make it at 64 and 16 if you prefer. Current HP and current MP are equal to the maximum amount because we want to give you full health and everything at the start of the game. Keys at 0 because you're not in a temple. Gems 6. Current XP 0. Target XP 0. XP to next 50. That's the base amount of XP to the next possible level up. Overworld X cell, Overworld Y cell, 23 and 22. And around this point, I started coming up with I started having a bunch of sort of meta information that doesn't really matter. and I was just stuffing it all into the default save file. One thing that I think that'd be kind of useful to do would actually be to kind of break this into two different save files. You have like the default save file, and then you have the game meta information save file, which is basically all the information about where is Link currently and what is his current cell he's on, stuff that would be useful for planning out transitions and stuff. So, entry direction equals no one. You'll use this for determining what side of the screen Link will appear on when you enter into a new room. Starting room is equal to room North Palace, and items unlocked is equal to candle false. I was planning on doing some various items, but I ended up not actually including that in this tutorial. But in this case, what I have here is the items unlocked, and then I put a struct in there of the various items that you could have and their current state of activity, which would then change what your interaction buttons would do on the overworld and stuff in the game. Because like if you have the hammer unlocked, if you go up to a brick and you press select, it will break the brick. And if you have the candle unlocked, then caves will be lit up when you go into them. You don't even have to do anything. It's just the way it is. Just changes the way different things happen in the game. So anyways, that's the save file and all the information that you need to have Link do his magic. And let's see. We have some additional methods that we're going to be creating here in a second. Yeah, but we'll get to it as we go through the step event. So we're going to start off with a little couple of the things, just very simple menu movement stuff. So the menu. If input press select, then move me forward, just like the first menu. And play a menu sound, and character underscore slot underscore index is equal to 1, because if we change from save slot to save slot, we want to start back on the first index if the player had moved along in the index position. And select an option. If we press start, switch index, case 3, create save files. So we basically don't do anything at all in the other 2 slots, but if in the other 3 slots, but if you press start when you're on the index, then we create save files based on what is new, and then transition back to our save select room at speed 1000, so instantaneously. So we have this little bit here about create save file. We'll come back to that in a bit because we want to talk about writing your name first. So when we are in any slot position other than 3, we want to be able to edit the save information in that. We want to edit the name slot in that position. The name slot being completely different from the save slots, because it's this information right here. That's all we're changing around. So if index underscore does not equal 3, then do this. Character, if input underscore pressed 0, input underscore action dot affirmative, and do some stuff. Now we have a map here we're going to use. I pull it over. This is a map of all the characters right here. A, B, C, D, yeah, etc., space, 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 9, and space there as well. This makes it very easy. So save underscore name underscore at index underscore is equal to string underscore delete save underscore name underscore index underscore character underscore slot underscore index and 1. So here we are going save name index equals string delete. So in our save name at the current index. So if we're at index 0 and the save name here, then we want to delete from the string at that position the character index slot at 1. So whatever is currently right there, delete it. Then we substring var script substring equals string copy from the map character index plus 1 and 1. So let's say we want to insert an A right here as our first character. Then we go in here, it deletes whatever character is currently in the 1 position. Then it goes and copies from this map whatever character index. So in this case, character index 0 and A is 0 plus 1 and 1. And the reason why we have the plus 1 here is because strings are 1 indexed. So this, instead of being 0, would be 1. So you'd have to copy from 1 to 1. And that would give you an A. So we have copied out an A from there based on what our current index is. Now we need to insert our new character. So at the area, instead of deleting it, we now insert the new substring into that position that we just deleted from. Then we wrap our character slot between 1 and 8 because it's 8 long. So that moves us to the next position. And lastly, audio play sound, character SFX, 1, false. Great. So to recap, we have a map of all the characters. We delete the current character. We find the character that the player is trying to insert. We then insert the character into the place where we deleted the previous character. And then we move to the next slot and play a sound. We also can just move to the next character if we just need to. So if you press negative, which is B, I believe, character slot index, plus, and play a sound. Yeah, just these two over here if you press B. Finally, we need to be able to navigate around our character index screen here. So let's throw in some character navigation code. I'll pull this over here, make it a little bit easier to see. Move the cursor around the character rubric. So we have X input and Y input, which is our left and right and up and down. And if the X input is pressed, then we wrap our character by character wrap minus or character wrap plus as accordingly. And audio play sound, same thing for the Y input. Character wrap plus up or character wrap down and play sound. Now we have all these various methods here. create save files, character index, not character, but character wrap plus and character wrap minus, character wrap up, and character wrap down. Why I do that? Because, well, I was testing out the methods and seeing how useful they'd be, and it's kind of useful because I can kind of hide the code over here, but, you know, in this case, it's only being used once, so it kind of defeats the purpose of actually using it as a method. Just the main purpose of a method is like if you have a 15 states in your character, and each one of those states is doing the code for speed fractions that I'll talk about later on. Then you would put all that code into a method, and then you just call the method in each one of those states rather than writing out the code in each one of those states, which be useful if you aren't going to edit the code for each one of those states individually. You know, that's kind of how it's very useful. It just saves off a bunch of code. But in this case, I was playing around with methods and trying to figure out how to use them more effectively, and I ended up throwing this stuff in the methods, which is also kind of useful because, like I said, you can hide a bunch of code inside of a single line there, but all the code then comes back over to here to your create event or wherever you define your methods at. So let's come on over to the create event and let's look at all these methods here. Character wrap plus, character wrap minus. So this would be our left and right. So what we basically want to do is when you press left or right, you increase by 1 or decrease by 1. So plus plus or minus minus the character index. And if character index is equal to 28, then set my character index equal to 33 because we have all this space here. So if I've moved up to 28, just jump me all the way straight to here. And then character index the other way around if it's equal to 32. So if I have I'm here, jump me all the way back to here. That way we skip all the blank space. Wrap down is plus 11. So you're basically just adding an entire row worth to your movement. And minus 11. And again, if character index is greater than 27 and character index is less than 33, character index plus 11. So if you're here, you tap to here, then we just automatically jump you all the way up to there. And actually, this character index between those, so I actually have written a function for this in the meantime called between. So if we are between character underscore index underscore 27 and 33. Nope, I don't want to page up. There we go. There we go. Yep, like so. If I am between 27 and 33, then character index plus minus. And so on and so forth. There we go. Makes it a little bit easier to work with, right? So we're almost there. Step. These are now good to go. That just leaves the create save files. So whenever we press an option button, well, whenever we press enter at the create at the index 3, when we press start, we're going to create our new save files. So let's come over here to all the way to the bottom there, and let's add in another function. Again, this could just been all thrown into the step event, but I created it as a function because I was testing out the extent of the usefulness of methods. So function create save file for var I equals 0 while I is less than 3 I++. Then check to see if file name is equal to Legend of Zelda 2 save plus my current save file number dot save. So we create this save file name. If save name does not equal a blank, so if there is not a blank in that position, then var underscore save is equal to new default save file. And save.save file name is equal to file name. Save.player defined file name is equal to save name at I. And we also have some stuff in here. Let's see. So file name is equal to this. If save file name does not equal blank, save name. Oh, if save name at I. So yeah, if save name at I. Because remember over here, we load the name of whatever's in the current position. And if there is a name, we set the name that's right there to that name. And if there wasn't a save file here, then it would just remain blank. So we also have, so if it's not blank, then that must mean we created a new save file. So therefore, we must create a new default save file, fill it in with the information about what its save file name is, and what its current, what its player defined file save file name is. Then string JSON stringify underscore save buffer create save string. This is basically me just copying out the save function here, except it's now part of here. So this is the save game function right over here, where basically this is the first instance you would see of it, in that we are creating this save file, then we stringify all the information about it and create a buffer, stiff it all into the buffer write the string into here, then save that buffer as file name, and then we delete the buffer. So that creates a file on our desktop with the name that we have given it. So last but not least, then we go back to the draw event. You remember all the stuff I started off with here. And we're going to draw some information here to let our character cursor fly around the screen. So set our font to FA left, etc., etc. Draw our save file names. Again, this is just like with the save select. Save information counter is right there. Except in this case, we're just pulling the save name because we don't need all the other information. Then don't draw the cursor when selecting the exit option. If index does not equal 3, draw the character slot indicator. And we start with var xx equals 104 and 48. So that would be the position in the room here. So we come over here to 48, 144. Draw the character slot indicator at x equals 104 plus character slot index minus 1. So let's say we're character slot index. Come back over to here. Let's shrink that. Character slot index 1 times 8. So if we're currently selecting A, then we'd have minus 1, and that would be 0 times 8. So we'd be at 104, and index times 24. Again, if we're at the first position, 0 times 24. Yeah, this is the character slot indicator, because there's a blinking indicator to show what slot you're writing into. That's why, that's why we're using the character slot index right there, because that would be the current character slot. Then y is 48. That's also why it's at 104 when I was expecting the 48, which is right down there. So yeah, this is a 104, 48. Yep. And then draw sprite text cursor, image index, x and y. Sprite text cursor. In this case, it's just this guy, and I made him have 2 frames, so he blinks. and an FPS of 5. You could probably do FPS 4, and that'd be just fine too. I found that with 60 FPS games that FPS 4 usually corresponds to normal speed for most things. Wrong one. Then draw the character indicator at 48 and 144 using character index now. Character index 0 in the array. Starts me off at 0 there. Mod 11. You'll have to remember these because every 11 we want to move back to our starting slot as 0. So every 11 characters move me back to 0. Then at character index div 11, drop me down another 16 and draw a sprite, etc. So let's see here. Pop open our file explorer. Jump over to app data, roaming. Is it roaming? Where all the games get put? Can't remember exactly. We'll find out in a second here. Actually, there it is. Zelda 2. Open. Jump over to our save. We do. I'm pressing select, but we're not moving. That's because I haven't properly fixed the menu wrap, have I? If exists, oh, yeah, we need to get rid of the not. We definitely want them to exist. So yeah, that should be good. For some reason, when I was putting everything together, I forgot to put in the right check. There we go. So Gamepad didn't know that right existed. There we go. You need to have right button and pad right. That should fix our problem. So let's go back into our room, test out our save system. Hey, right works now. Da-da-da. And that looked great. Now let's press A. Or B. I guess I'm pressing A and A is negative in this case. We got character named because that's the most important save name. Let's press end. And we explode our game. Variable default save file GML. Oh, North Palace. It didn't like that. Yeah, I thought that would come back to bite me. So until we actually create the North Palace room, let's just set that as not existent. Register your name. And hey, there we go. Exist. Let's come back over to here. Yeah, there we go. Now I have a new folder created. Zelda 2 tutorial. Legend of Zelda, save 1. And if we open it up, with Notepad++, see Des, Overworld YCell, continues, etc., etc., etc. Everything's in there. And now we can move between them in here. We also have elimination mode now available to us. And we'll get to that next time. That'll actually be very quick and very simple because we're just deleting your save file. It's not that big of a deal. So we'll actually probably combine that with a couple things into the next episode. So thank you everybody for watching and thank you for enjoying the debugging. So now I'm going to let myself take it away with some Patreon names. Thank you, everybody. I'd like to thank my Legacy Patreon sponsors, James Burton, JD Lowe, Suli, and Vazia. I'd also like to thank my current Patreon sponsors, Kenneth Klein and Vladimir. Your support helps the NES Game Maker be made and to continue to grow, and I hope that you all continue to have good luck with your programming.